My father saved my life. He told me never to forget who I am, where I come from. But in this place, nobody even wants to know my name. Getting attached is deadly. Because when darkness comes, I might be gone. The virus tore society apart, but I won't let it turn me into an enemy. Staying alive became the essence of our existence, yet life must be more than just survival. Every day, the disease tries to crush us and make us forget who we are, but I keep fighting. My name is Aiden, and I am infected.
So there's so many questions. Like I asked Twitter, I was like, hey guys, what do you guys want to know? And I just got bombarded. And I just want to let you guys know right out of the gate, there's a lot of stuff that is going to be surprise. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff that we can't touch on, but one of my favorite things in the game is the weapon system, the weapon crafting and stuff. Is there, like, I'm sure that's going to be in the game, but can you tell us if there's going to be like some new stuff? Or?
Well, there'll be a lot of new weapons
Okay.
in the game. For sure, the weapon crafting will be a bit reworked because we changed the combat in Dying Light 2 into the way it's more tactical, the way it's more giving you more satisfaction in certain bits, certain moments. So the weapon crafting fills the gap, and it creates a lot of emergent situations that create those satisfaction moments. Yeah, it will be more complicated and more complex, so I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Very cool, very cool. One of the things that I really like about, or I like about video games in general, is the difficulty. In the beginning, when I first started the first game, it was just run. Is that, can you speak to like the gameplay arc with this? Because it seems like he might start out like a badass, but am I wrong about that?
I can't tell you too much about that.
Okay.
The thing is that Aiden Caldwell is entering the city at the beginning of the game, almost at the beginning of the game. So
Okay.
he's not from the very beginning in the city, and he's not infected from the very beginning. So it probably covers some of the answers.
Okay. Like I said, totally fine if you can't say stuff, but I have to ask these questions.
Yeah.
The hard-hitting, journalistic questions. Co-op? Question mark?
There will be co-op, so
Okay.
you can play entire campaign, entire story from the beginning till the very end with your friends. It's up to 4-player co-op like in the first game. Some of the new elements will be introduced very soon about the co-op and about the multiplayer elements of the game, but right now it's confirmation that the co-op is there.
Can I ask a couple questions about when you dropped a lot of the information around this sort of the city that is living and based off of your decisions, then is it the peacekeepers they could react differently to you or what is happening or saving a citizen, et cetera. I'm curious if you can talk at all about how this new character Aiden now, and what arguably has to be an interesting thing within this world to be infected and keeping that a secret, et cetera. Is that also going to be playing into like some of the decisions and how people or different organizations might be reacting to me in the game?
Yeah, it plays a pretty big role. One of the big pushes with Dying Light 2 was to sort of like really focus on choice and consequences, and like working on like RPG games in the past, it's really easy to do that with like human interactions.
Right.
But what's really impressed me about Dying Light 2 is the sheer amount of environmental reactivity that may occur as a result of your actions in the game. And really, when I saw the first few examples of it, I'm like, Adrian, you got to be freaking kidding me. He's like, no, wait, watch this. It's really empowering for a player.
Yeah, I mean, that is exciting overall too, because it means that when Zeke plays and I play and we start talking about it, it's like, well, no, wait a second. that didn't happen. It's like, well, I made these decisions. And to me as a player, that is also interesting because I tend to be a good player on the side of like maybe chaotic good, but more good. And when you get put up with those even more difficult decisions and you don't know what effect that will have, like on the ripples on the world, that's super exciting to.
Yeah, one of the big goals is actually how the players sort of like discuss their experiences and how their gameplay has been different in each playthrough, and then share it online and talk with each other and share their experiences. That was also a big part of it.
Yeah. And when you talk, like you actually mentioned each playthrough, can you talk about like the replayability factor?
Yeah, you can finish the game without seeing 50% of the content even. So
really,
when you play again,
speedrunners, are you listening?
That's a challenge. So the cool thing is like when you're playing again, you know the consequences based on your previous choices. So now you can turn left, turn right, and play it differently, and the world will look different. So it's a super exciting motivation for playing this game again, especially if this is the action game, and a lot of choices have the tremendous influence into the game world. So the scale of the consequences is super high. Sometimes it's really like from movies, like disaster movies with 2012 or something like that.
Like apocalyptic.
I like this.
choices.
I like the sound
so
of
if
this.
you play it differently, you're gonna see different things. So it's very much connected with Dying Light.
Will
DNA.
we as players know the weight as we're making some of these decisions, or?
Yeah, actually, the way the choices are framed, it's always fair to the player to let them know what the stakes are. But then
Sometimes, I guess.
it kind of helps. But then, like, we dump a crap load of pressure on the player at the moment when they make the decision. So you know what the stakes are. You've got limited time to decide, and there are pluses and minuses to each one. But we want players to be able to make those difficult decisions, and then also be like see the results of those in the game world.
Awesome.
Yeah, but the thing is that we were working a lot on those choices to make sure that we won't lose the DNA of Dying Light 1. And it's for sure the action game. So this thinking aspect, what to pick, the A or B or C or D, it's not like in strategical game where you really need to think a lot. To think, oh, should I go left or should I go right? So it's much more like the action. So there's the time is there, like it limits you, but it's like you feel that you need to go A or B, and there's no point to go B for the player. So it's not like the strategical choice. Yeah. So we mostly focus on consequence rather than choice. Yeah.
Well, I'm super happy to hear you say that because I've played a lot of like adventure games, action games, or whatever with a story, and it's always so frustrating when choices don't matter, And I'm glad to hear you say like, shit will change if you make like these choices. I love that.
Dying Light 2, shit will change.
There you go.
You're welcome. Trademark. Pay me now. Pay me now. Check in the mail. Okay, cool. All right, so another really, really exciting aspect of playing the first one was the parkour. Can you tell us like any innovations, updates, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we doubled the move of the parkour moves, so that's the one thing. So it's much more fluid when you just exploring through the city. We introduced last year the.
Well, I'm sorry. When you say double the move, what do you mean by that? Like
the
speed
animations when you interact with environment.
Okay.
And we introduced last year something called the parkour puzzles. So there are certain puzzles, where you really need to look at your stamina and measure it, find the road, find the place that you want to rest.
I love that.
And there's a lot of those kind of things. And in the demo we've created for the show, we also introduced something like improving your avatar. So it's not only about skills that you can unlock for having new moves or be more efficient in moving. You also have some tools. Yeah. So you are upgrading your avatar. You have your tools on your body. You have a new grappling hook, which is really great. You can.
That was one of the questions. Like, ask him about the grappling hook.
Yeah, it's not just for moving through the city. It could be used in a combat in any different cases. Yeah.
Now,